presumably the parchmenters, again, these are the booksellers. These are the cheaper end of the booksellers, and many of the illuminators actually live down here. And the one that the one we can localize absolutely is Perrin Remiet, who's recorded as an illuminator in Paris from 1368 until his death in about 1420, and he lived right here, absolutely on the corner here, because we have the description of the house being on the corner of the street, on the far corner of the street by Saint-Séverin, which of course is the church behind here, which was where the Illuminators Guild was based. So that was the parish church of the Illuminators. And he lived and worked here, and he was an illuminator and a panel painter. And he was painting panels for the chapel of Louis d'Orléans, for example, in 1396. But there is a pèlerinage de la vie humaine, in the Bibliothèque Nationale, in which his name appears. And there are two illuminators that work in that book, and there is uncertainty among the art historians as to which of them is Perrin Remiet and which of them is Renaud de Monte, the other name that appears in there. But what is so fascinating is that in the tax records, Renaud de Monte lived next door. So he was the other side. So he was just the far side of where the coffee shop is down there, saying Alexander. So these two painters working together on a manuscript. And Renaud was one of the principal booksellers, one of the libraires, one of the four licensed booksellers, and his house was called the sign of the star, the signe d'étoile. Must have been exactly there. But what's interesting about him is he sold 13 manuscripts to the Duc de Berry. And it wasn't until I walked around this in preparation for this last night, I realized, of course, from that picture in the Très Richer, that the Duc de Berry's estate was on the other side here. So the Duc de Berry's come out through his back gate, walked out here, he's come across a bookseller, and he's bought 13 manuscripts. So he probably actually came in there himself, right there, in the 15th century. He's probably doing it himself, or somebody from the household is doing it. So it brings in something very, very, very close.